Welcome to the AlmighTees channel. And this week's episode is another video in the Screen Printing 101 series. In this week's episode, I'm going to show you how I do a 3-color separation in Adobe Illustrator. So stick around. I'm going to show you how that's done next. Alright, now here I am at my laptop and I am going to do the color separations for this 3-color front and this 3-color back for an upcoming job for our friends at Life Spring Church. Now the first thing that I want to do whenever I start the separation process is I want to look right up here and I want to see what document mode, what color mode my file or my document is in, and that is an RGB, and I don't want that. I want it in CMYK, so I go under File, I go to Document Color Mode, and I switch that to CMYK. Alright, now that it's in CMYK, I'm going to want to start the separation process. Now what I do to start off is this is all going to be on what is the layer that I like to call my color comp or color composite. And that's just where I keep the original file. That's where I keep my proof. That's where I keep all of my elements that I may want to or need to refer back to at some point in time in the future. It's always good to have like my text boxes that I used for the design. I like to keep them on my color composite, and then I will duplicate them into different layers for each color in the design. So let's get started. So I'll start by going right to the box, this little options box in my layer palette, and I will say duplicate color comp, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to name that white. And I always just used to, when I do this, I like to start with my white underbase, even though that's not going to be the color that I actually start separating. Now I can lock the color comp layer and hide it from view. Now, since I have the color comp and I have all that information on here, all I need is what's on my document. So I can basically just select all of this and I can just say bye-bye because I don't need it anymore. But I still have it on my color comp layer. All right, now this is, as I said, a 3-color and a 3-color. So now that my white is selected, I can go here and I can go duplicate white. And I'm just going to name this green. Now these are specific PMS colors, but just for the sake of this video, I'm not going to worry about that. Now I'm going to duplicate green, just do the same process again, and I'm going to say blue. And now I've got all my layers for my different colors as a part of this print and this design. So I'm going to lock and hide the ones that I do not need, and I don't need the white or the green right now. And so before I start, I also want to do this. I'm going to get my text tool and I'm going to type that I want this is going to be the blue. So I'm going to say blue dash, and I already know I'm pretty much going to be putting that blue on a 200 mesh. And then I find if I can find it, my character, and I'm going to make that 14. All right. Move that into place. Now, one of the things that I did not do, that I almost forgot, but I didn't forget, okay, and that is to do this, is I want a special color that I'm going to use, and I'm going to make all of my separations a particular color, and I will explain to you what that is, what is called a rich black. So see, since I'm in CMYK mode, here is my CMYK, because I want to be able to try to get as much ink down, which is all a part of your Dmax, which is how dark your positives are, so that the light when you expose your screens doesn't affect or bleed through and affect your emulsion that you're looking to get washed out, that you're looking to wash out. So my rich black, which consists of 100% black, I'm going to go 20% yellow, I'm going to go 50% magenta, and 50% cyan. Now let me open my swatches palette, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to click on it. I'm going to hold it down on my mouse. I'm going to drag it down, and now I've got that color in my swatch palette. And then I will name it so I know what it is when I refer back to this file at any time in the future. And now that is my rich black. Okay, and that is really what I want to do. I want to select my text box, and see, here it's not colored correctly. It's just 100% black, which I'm sure would have been fine, but I want that other color, and it just adds more ink, which is going to have more UV blocking properties when you go to start your exposure process, is why we use rich black. I select that. See, even my outlines of my registration marks are not rich black, so I'm going to select my registration mark, go under select, same stroke color. It's going to select all my registration marks, and I can just select rich black, and now they're what I need them to be. All right. Okay, so what color was I starting with? I was going to start with my blue. So what that does is that gives me what I am able to do is, now I don't get my selection tool. I get my direct selection tool, and I just select my green, any aspect of the green, and once I see that it's selected, just like I did before, I go select, same fill color, and then I just paint that or make it all white. White's a non-printable color, so I just need to make it white, and it goes away. Now, technically speaking, if I go to outline mode, it's all still there. I always leave all my graphics there. I just paint what aspects of the design I don't need. I paint them white or make them white, and I don't have to worry about them printing. Same thing. Select my blue, select same fill color, and now all I need to do is take that, and I need to select it, make it black. And now I have the blue for my front and the blue for my back complete. Now I'm going to save, because I like to save my file periodically through the process, just in case something were to weird were to happen and Illustrator was to crash. I would still have some of my work saved. All right, now I can lock the blue. I can hide it. I will make the green visible. I will unlock it, and then I will make sure I'm selecting that layer. And then I'm going to do the exact same opposite that I just did for the blue for the green. So since I already have my blue done, I get my direct selection tool. Select that. I go select, same fill color. And then I can name my blue or make my blue white. All right, one of the things I did not do that I should have done. Let me go back. Let me go back to that blue. I'm going to select that blue, that tag, which included the color of the ink and the mesh count, and I am going to copy. All right, then I can lock it, hide it, make my green visible, unlock it, select the green, and then I'm going to do, I was going to use a shortcut, but that doesn't help y'all. But if you know your shortcuts, they're very helpful. Paste in front. All right, and then that makes, now my label for my film is been pasted onto the front. Now I know this is going to be green, and I know this is going to be a 200 as well. So that's the color of the ink, and that's your mesh count. All right, now I'm getting back on track. I know I'm having to do a little back and forth, but just not thinking. It's been a long day, so I'm trying to do this right before I'm getting ready to go home. So as I said, I select with the direct selection tool. I selected part of the design. I went under select, same fill color. It selects all my green. I'm able to paint it or create it and convert it to black or paint it black. And now that is done. Okay, and then I'm going to save that. All right, now we're almost done. I got 2 out of the 3 colors done. I hide my green. I lock that layer. I make the white layer visible. I unlock it and select that, and now I can start working on my white underbase. First thing I want to do is I want to go under here and I want to go paste in front. All right, so that I have my film label. I'm going to go white there, and for this purpose I'm going to go 180 thin thread, which is a 180S. Now if I select it just to check, and I can look over here and see that yes, in fact, that is still my rich black, so we're good. All right, for the sake of underbase, I know I was using my direct selection tool, and for this purpose I am going to ungroup because there's some things that I'm going to need to do. I can't just do it all at once like I did the others. So I'm going to ungroup everything. That should basically ungroup everything. Yep, it looks like it. No, that's still ungrouped. So that's still grouped. Let me ungroup that. That's grouped. That's grouped. Let me select all these and ungroup all of this. All right. Now, in the design, you notice that there was a word. Let me go into wireframe or not preview. What mode is that? I don't even know what it's called. I just call it wireframe. So outline, sorry, wireframe, outline mode. See, I can still see that church is there, but because it's on a blank white background, you can't see it. So for those purposes, I like to start with those areas first, and I will select, if I can find where one of those boogers is. Okay, and I select, same thing, select, same fill color, and then I make that black. Now all of my white that has no color on top of it is going to print now. Before, had I not done that, it wouldn't have printed. Let me select it, or not select it, let me save it. My mind's like jelly right now. Like I said, it's the end of the day, y'all. I'm trying to get out of here, and I've had a couple of faux pas with the recording of this the first couple of times, so I'm just going to roll with it and let it go. Y'all will have to forgive me after it's all said and done. All right. So I'm going to get my regular selection tool, and I'm just going to select this section, and I am going to turn it all black. All right, for my rich black. Now, because I want this choked, because other colors, the blue and the green, are going to fall on top of it, I'm going to want to create a little bit of what I call a choke, or just to make those areas are just a tad bit smaller, just a smiggle smaller. That's a made-up word. So I go to my outline. See, I was in the fill. Now I go to my outline, and I click stroke. Well, actually, no, I need to color the stroke, which is color it white, because it's there again, a non-printable color. I go to stroke. I don't want a 1 point, so I make that a 1.85. I'm sorry, I might have said that incorrectly. A 0.85 of a point. All right, that I don't have to worry about, so I can just make sure my fill is selected, go under my swatches palette, turn that. Okay, now if I zoom in, the way I did this art, you can see that the inner part of this little teardrop shape, the inside and the outside is an outline, and I don't want that, so I'm going to go up under Object, I'm going to go Compound Path, and I'm going to release that Compound Path. What that's going to do is it's going to separate those two elements. So then all I have to do is select the outside element. I can color it black, select my stroke, add a white stroke around it, and then make it 0.85 and hit return. All right. So that means the front is done, and I just have to do the same thing with the back. Select all of that, color. All right, change it to black. Add my outline for the choke. Make that 0.85. Same thing here. The green is fine as is. All I have to do is just make it my rich black. All right. Yep, same thing as on the front. So I got to go under Object, got to go Compound Path, release, select the outer portion, turn it black, rich black, add that stroke, make it a 0.85, and like I said, if I zoom in, y'all will be able to see that it is just a little bit smaller. And that's going to help for the cover, for the top colors to completely cover my underbase and not letting that little white peek out from underneath. And that's it. That is how you separate a 3-color front and a 3-color back. There again, like I said, I've got my color comp still here. So I have all that information. I've got my white with my mesh count. I've got my green Let me select that, green with my mesh count, and I have my blue with the mesh count as well. So now they're ready to output, and once they're output, they can go to screen. They will be burned on the screens, they'll be set up, and they will be printed. We hope you found this video helpful and informative. Would you give it a thumbs up or even consider subscribing to the channel? And if you do, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you'll be alerted whenever we upload new content. If you have a question or anything to say, drop those in the comments. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.